Hello, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about fixing and flipping properties. And so I want you to be aware that everything that I share with you up to the point where you bring in the executed purchase and sales agreement to the title company, that this is going to be the process and steps for both wholesaling and fixing and flipping properties. So at the end of the day, once you have the executed contract at the title company, if you're wholesaling it, you're just finding a motivated cash buyer to come in to sign your contract to, and you're finished. But if you're going to actually fix it and flip it, now you're going to take over from there and actually close that property. So I'm going to take you through the process step by step. So the first thing that you want to have, guys, is a legal entity, right? You want to try to stay away from doing business in your name. Now, I suggest you talk to your CPA, tax attorney, or somebody that's in that profession that can give you some good, sound advice about what type of entity to set up. You just want to have a legal entity. Me personally, I like LLCs, limited liability corporations, right? But get with your tax attorney, your CPA, etc. So you want to have a legal entity set up. You want to have a good professional name that people could remember, that is easy to say, and you want to have that name registered with the Secretary of State in your state, right? So get that name locked down. The next thing you want to do is create your brand, right? So now you want to search for the website name. So for example, my company name is NOLA Homes Project, right? So I have that as a trade name for our corporation. I found the website name, NOLAHomesProject.com, right? And so now it stays consistent. I continue with the branding, right? So you want a nice, simple website name, not long and drawn out, something easy to say, easy to see as well. So once you got your website name registered, I like GoDaddy. You know, you could GoDaddy.com. That's a good resource and tool for you. But do your own research online. So now you registered your company name, entity name. You registered the website name. So now you want to start to create your logo. Your logo, you want something professional, you want something simple, memorable, and you want something that's not really over the top, right, if you will. So you want something professional, if that makes sense. So you want to create your logo. Once you have that logo created, now you want to put that logo on your marketing material, your business cards, your banners that you might stand up when you're doing meetings, your brochures, and also, you could use that on your website, right? So you want to get your logo created, start creating a brand, get the content on your website, and you want to start to market, right? You're marketing for two people. You're marketing for motivated sellers, right? And you're marketing for motivated buyers. But there's two types of buyers. Number one, the first buyer is going to be your cash buyers or your investors if you're looking to fix and flip properties. If you are actually, if you're looking to wholesale properties, if you're actually looking to fix and flip the property yourself, then your end buyer is going to be the one that's going to occupy that home. And so you want to start to build that list of occupied buyers. So there's a lot of people with credit challenges. So you want to accept everybody, right? You want to be able to leverage and monetize your marketing campaign. So if their credit scores are not quite to the point where they can buy the house, you want to simply put them in a pipeline, start to find a resource to be able to help them with their credit scores. And that way, in the next 3 to 6 months, maybe a year, they're popping out your pipeline ready to buy a house from you. And we have a department, guys, and we have our financial education service department where we have individuals that's on staff, lawyers and attorneys that actually assist your buyers in contacting the credit bureaus to get items deleted off their credit report, right? So there are erroneous items, there's error items, unverifiable items. So we can help in that nature to help them remove those negative items. We help them with the education to learn how to build positive credit, and more important, to sustain it. So reach out to my office, we can help you with that to build up your pipeline. So again, motivated sellers you're looking for to market to, and motivated buyers that you're looking to market to. Those two is two separate lists, right? So now that you're starting to put out your marketing campaigns, you have maybe your bandit signs around town, the little signs that be, at the corners, in the ground, the little stakes in the ground, say "We buy houses cash." You might have some of those signs out. You might have some direct mail campaign going out, right? So you might have a list of motivated sellers who, one that's facing foreclosure and they're behind on the mortgage street for months. You have that list. So now you sending a direct mail campaign out to them. When they get that, they're looking at it and reading it and say, hey, I'm Randy. I'm part of a large group of investors. We're buying properties in your area. I see that you was a couple of months behind on your mortgage. We're here to help you. Give our office a call. We're a real estate solutions company in your area, right? So now your phone is ringing, guys. Your phone is ringing, it's blowing up. If you did the right marketing campaign. So now you have a sheet called a seller lead sheet, that you have. And on that lead sheet is some questions that you want to ask. So when you get the seller on the phone, you build a quick rapport with them. You guys know how to do that. And then once you get them on the phone, you build the rapport, then you want to ask some questions. Hey, listen, tell me about the home. How many bedrooms, how many baths? What's the square footage on the home? Is there any damage to the home? Roof damage, foundation issues. You want to ask questions. What's your motivation for selling? What's going on? Tell me. And let them tell you, hey, I got an opportunity for another company to work for in another state, and I have to sell this home because I can't afford two mortgages. Hey, I inherited a property and I just can't keep it up. I don't want to deal with the headaches. Or hey, I'm facing foreclosure. Man, the sheriff knocked on my door and they're scheduling me for a sheriff sale to sell my home, right, at the auction, right? Great. So you want to know that motivation, right? You want to find out, hey, how much do you owe to your mortgage company, right? What's the payments that's behind? You know, did you reach out to the mortgage company? So you want to ask all these questions, right? You want as much information as you possibly can. Hey, also a question I love to ask, hey, listen, if you was buying a house and you walked into that door, what would you want to see upgraded in there, right? Because I'm in the business of buying properties and I'm gonna fix it and I'm gonna resell a property and make the property a beautiful home. So if the house had to be a beautiful home for the end buyer, if you're buying it for the first time, would you upgrade the kitchen, update the bathroom cabinets, would you update the floor, do some painting, etc.? And you'd be quiet and listen through that whole conversation. That way you could gather all the information you can. So once you got the address, you got all the information you can, now you start to do some R&D. You do some research and development, right? So you go on to Google, you type in that particular address, you're looking for properties that sold in that area in a recent month that's similar to that property, right? You want to know what the after repair value could be. You want to know what the days on market is. You want to look at the crime in the area. Is this a high crime area? If so, you want to leave that alone, right? So you want to research, find out what the ARV is. Then next you want to have an idea what the rehab budget could possibly be, right? So if you are asking those questions, they're going to tell you, hey, the kitchen needs to upgrade, the floor needs to upgrade. So you know right off the bat, if I need kitchen and flooring, kitchen cabinets and countertops and flooring and paint on the wall, a new roof, things of that nature, you could probably be every bit about $35,000, right? $40,000 easy, right? So you just want to get an idea. So now you want to take that information, put it in your deal analyzer. You know, we have that resource, that tool. You saw it in another video. That deal analyzer, you're going to be able to plug in your after repair value. You're going to plug in your construction budget. You're going to plug in all your expenses that's associated with buying the property and actually selling that property. And that deal analyzer is going to give you an estimated net profit. And then based on the numbers you have, that'll determine if you want to go and talk to that seller in person. So if you put it in the property, you're already getting, you know, $5,000 net profit or minus $2,000, right? Or $10,000 net profit, then that's something you might not want to deal with. But if you see that the potentially right out the gate is, you know, $35,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000, whatever, then you say, okay, let me look further into this. So now you schedule an appointment with the seller to go and see that seller. But you want all parties that's going to attend that meeting. So if they have two owners of that property, you want to know that. Those are the questions that one of the questions that you're going to ask. Hey, are you the only owner? Anybody else that's a decision maker, right? You want to find that out. And also how you confirm it, you go to the tax assessor website that's in your particular city, and you're going to see who all the owners are. So you don't want to have you put yourself in a position where you're only meeting and sit down with one of the spouse, right? And the other spouse is working and not there, because you need both of them there, right? Both the decision makers. So you schedule an appointment, you give them 2 dates. Hey, listen, I'm available Tuesday and Thursday. What's good for you? Great. I got 10 o'clock open and 12 o'clock open. What's good for you? Great. You give them the option to choose between your two time periods and your two dates, right? So now you go to the house, you pull up, you have your business card with you, your brochures with you, you have your nice dress shirt on, right? Or if you have your business company shirt, wear that business company shirt. Pull up in a nice vehicle if you can. If you don't have a nice vehicle, park around the corner and walk, right? So you want to be professional, you know, clean cut, right? You want to be absolutely professional, because the first impressions are everything. And you want to bring your credibility package, guys. Your credibility package tells people about your company. Who are you? You know, what's your background? What's your vision? Who are your team members you're working with? And you want to actually bring that credibility package with you. That way, once you leave, you can leave them a business card, a brochure, and your credibility package. So that way you stand out from everybody else. Because rest assured, probably gonna have some other investors that's gonna reach out to them, but they may not have the materials like you're sending them. You might not be able to build a rapport with them like you're gonna do. So now you park outside the home, never walk on people's grass, because they could be watching you outside. You knock on the door, they answer the door, you have a nice stern handshake, good eye contact, have a lot of enthusiasm, be energetic, right? Have a good positive vibe, and then now they're gonna invite you into their home. As you're walking through the home, then you simply want to point out something that stands out that you can build a connection with. It might be a photo or a painting on the wall. Say, hey man, I love that painting. Where did you get that from? So now people have that compliment and they start to talk. People love to talk about themselves, and the more they talk to you, the better and more comfortable they are in sharing more personal information with you a little later, right? And so if you can, you want to get directed to the kitchen table. They might ask, hey, where do you like to sit? Hey, you know, can we sit at the kitchen table? I try my best to get to that kitchen table because there's a comfort level in that kitchen table. Most people don't allow strangers at that kitchen table sitting. Usually that's reserved for family members and friends. But when you're able to get to the kitchen table, you just crossed a major barrier, across a major hurdle. And then once you're at the kitchen table, you want to set them up in a way where they're sitting side by side to each other, but directly in front of you. So that way, when you're having a conversation with them, you can simply look at this person in the eye, turn and look that person in the eye, and you can kind of go back and forth. You never want to have one person sitting far to the left and another person sitting far to the right, or maybe one person in the front, one person in the back. You don't want to do that, because now you have to turn this way and talk to this person, and turn that way and talk to that person. You want both of them in front of you, side by side. So now once you actually start, you want to ask them questions. Don't just jump right into it. Build a little bit more You might ask them about their family. Hey, do y'all have any children? Yes, great. How long are you guys married? If so, how long you been married? Okay, great. Do you have family in the area? Okay, great. What do you do for a living? Okay, I do this for a living. What type of recreations you guys have? Okay, great. Well, listen, just to tell you a quick story about myself, and you tell them briefly your story, who you are, right? What do you do? Why are you doing this, right? Some of your track record, right? Hey, listen, I'm Randy Chambliss. I'm the co-founder of NOLA Homes Project. We're part of a large group of investors. We specialize in buying distressed properties at a discount, renovating them. We resell those homes to landlords and home buyers. And so over the last 3 years, we bought and sold X amount of real estate, right, through our investment group. So we're buying in the area, and just wanted to reach out to you and see how can I serve you, how can we help you, because we're a real estate solutions company, right? So you want to kind of tell them who you are, maybe tell a quick story, a little dip, right? Maybe where you come from, and then that way they kind of relate to you, right? Because people only do business with you when they know you, like you, and trust you. So you have to build confidence with them. You have to interrupt the story that they're currently telling themselves, that they currently believe in, of who you are. Because people want to know who you are, what do you have, and why should I care? And when you answer those things, people are more open to giving you their personal information. Because let's face it, guys, when they're facing foreclosure, that's personal information, right? So now that you built the rapport, now you get into the details, right? And you ask them and say, hey, listen, how long do you have left before you go to the sheriff's sale? You want to know that, right? And so whatever that motivation is, you want to know it. You want them to articulate it to you. And then you simply ask, hey, listen, can you walk me around the house? I would love to go room by room so I can take some notes so I can see what type of repairs that I have. And by the way, if you know anything that I should know that I didn't ask, let me know. Fair enough? Great. Boom, you guys get up, let them lead. You know, you start in the kitchen, where you at right now. You go through the kitchen cabinets, go through the kitchen, you're looking for water leaks at the top of the ceiling, because that tells you we have a roof leak, right? So you got mildew, moisture, some stains in ceiling. You want to note that. You want to note the kitchen cabinets, right? You want to take some photos. Ask for permission first. Do you mind if I take some photos? It's for my personal inventory, so I can, you know, relate back to these photos and I know what type of repairs it is, because I know I probably can miss some things. So you take some photos of the kitchen cabinet, take some photos of the floor, and you just go on room by room making notes, right? And so as you finish all the room inside the house, you go and you walk the exterior home. You're looking for cracks in the bricks, cracks in the concrete, cracks in the slab. You're looking for erosion around, you know, the soil is moving from the house. You're just looking for physical things that may potentially be a problem. So you're taking photos of everything. You go into the electrical panel box, open that up, seeing if it's fuses or if it's breakers. Seeing if there's loose wires in there, if it's old, if it's new. You don't want to make a note of those things. So now you have all the information that you gathered. Now you simply tell, hey, listen, here's what I'm going to do. If you are prepared to make an offer right now, guys, because when you did your deal analysis, you had your repair budget in there that was estimated from what you learned over the phone. You got your ARV, so you know how much money you're gonna make, right? Because once you know your ARV, what you could sell a house for after it's repaired, once you know your rehab budget, once you know all your expenses, once you know your net profit, now you know what your maximum allowable offer is right up front. So typically when I go to the house, I already know what my maximum allowable offer is. So let's say my maximum allowable offer is, or your MAO is $60,000. So when I go to my truck and say, listen, let me do some calculations, go to my vehicle, and I'll come back and I'll make you an offer. Fair enough? Great. So I go to my vehicle, I verified that my numbers match up what I did before, and if it's a little bit different, then I make my adjustments if I can right there in the field, and then I determine my maximum allowable offer. Then if I have my contract, which you should, you have your purchase and sale contract, I already got it written out, right? I got it written out, filled out, everything. Now I'm just putting in my maximum allowable offer. And then now I have something tangible because I want to lock this deal down today. So now I go back in the house and say, listen, based on the information I gathered, I can only sell a house for about X amount of dollars, but I'm gonna need to make these repairs. And I simply share, hey, this repair is gonna cost me about $35,000, $40,000. I'm only gonna be able to sell it for X amount of dollars. If you have, you know, a CME or you have some comparables with you, you can simply show it, because some people might think the house could sell for $450,000, but in reality, they only can sell it for $180,000. So I need to show them prove all things, show them proof that this is what I can only sell it for, this is my rehab budget, right? And so my maximum allowable offer to you is gonna be $45,000. Even though I know it's $60,000, but I'll offer them $45,000 just to see their motivation. If they take it, great, you rocking and rolling. If they don't, they might negotiate, well, listen, I can't take $45,000, Randy. You know, can you come up a little bit? Well, I maybe come up to, you know, maybe $52,000. You guys negotiate. But my point is, you know your maximum allowable offer is only $60,000, so you do not go past your maximum allowable offer, because you're gonna lose in that deal. So let's say they take your maximum allowable offer, it could have been a little lower, and they accept it. Then boom, you get them to sign and execute that contract immediately. No waiting, no leaving and coming back tomorrow, sign it immediately. Both parties, everybody who's selling the house. So now you're walking out the house with a signed contract, guys, get that. And if you're not sure of what your maximum allowable offer is, if you're not sure the amount of repairs that need to be done, then don't push it, don't move forward with making them an offer, right? You simply say, listen, if you mind, can I bring over my contractor tomorrow? I want him to get a better look at it because I see some things that I don't have an answer to. Okay, great. Bring your contractor back, or whoever that's going to be the expertise in the area. Let them evaluate it. Get that final number. Then you give them the executed contract, right? You give them a contract so you guys execute it. My point is, you want to do it quickly and fast. So now once you have that contract executed, guys, now you're going to march that down to the title company. You're going to scan and email it to them, give it to them in person, however you want to do it. But your title company should be a team member of yours, someone who are able to do wholesale deals, able to do assignments of contractor, contracts. Because a lot of title companies, believe it or not, don't even know what assignment of contracts is, don't even know what a wholesaling is. So you want to have a title company that understands it, that's comfortable with it, and then when you give them that contract, now at this point, guys, at this point, you can start shopping for your end buyer if you're going to wholesale that deal, right? Now, of course, there might be some cash consideration in there, right? So the consideration for, you know, the payment for your earnest money deposit, it could be $250, right? Might be $100 if you could get away with it. Typically, it's $1,000 in the market when you deal with realtors if it's under $100,000 sales price, and if it's over $100,000 sales price, it could be a little higher. But I'll sometimes offer $100 for an earnest money deposit of $250. So anyway, that shows some commitment to you. So you bring the contract down to the title company, you have your deposit down at the title company, and now you're sending an email out to your motivated cash buyers or investors, right? So in that email, it's gonna be a wholesale package, right? And we go over that in one of the other video trainings. Inside the wholesale package email, you uploading some photos of their property, you're uploading a video of their property that you took, you want a nice strong video, right? If you can. You want to upload your comparables, you want to upload your construction budget, rehab budget, right? You want to upload the deal analyzer, right? You want to upload in that email, in that content, you want to have the address of the property, the sales price that you're selling it for, right? Not what you got it for, but what you're selling it for. And you want to put in the estimate in net profits in there. And then you let them know, hey, get back to me if this is interesting, because this is going out to several of our real estate investment groups, right? So now what happened is that investor who's motivated to buy, who's your end buyer, is sitting at their computer, they get an email or they're on their phone, they open it up and they have everything they need to evaluate this property. Because you prove to them what the days on market is. You prove to them the houses, 3 to 6 houses that sold near that area that's similar. So there's no question, no guesswork of what they can sell that property for. You prove to them how long that property is going to probably be on the market. You prove to them what is the construction budget, rehab budget in it. You prove them through the deal analysis, all the expenses and what their net profits could be. So now they open up this email, they got everything they need, they see that they can make $55,000 off this deal, right? So if they're excited about it, if they want to make it, then they call you, contact you, email you, text you, whatever the case may be, and then you assign your right to that contract over to them. Now, they step in your position and they actually go out and they close that property at the title company. They bring in the cash, they bring in the hard money, they bring in the private money, they fund that deal. You didn't use your own cash, you didn't use your own credit at all, but use the person in the middle creating value, making it a win-win for everybody. So now that investor buys the property and they start to rehab their property. But you just made yourself $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever your wholesale fee was. Because remember, when you gave that maximum allowable offer, let's say it was $60,000 like we talked about, but you got it for $50,000, right? So you have the contract between you and that seller for $50,000, but you started marketing to your motivated cash buyer list, your investor list, for $60,000. Y'all follow me? You got the A to B between you and that motivated seller for $50,000, but now you have a contract between the B and C, you and the end buyer, for $60,000. So the between is a $10,000 net profit in there for you. Now, when you assign that contract over to your end buyer, you're gonna make that difference between the two prices, which is $10,000. If you simply don't want nobody to see your $10,000, right, then you might want to do what is called a double close, right? You close that A to B out totally with cash, right? That's as transactional funding is called. And then you immediately sell it simultaneously, immediately sell it in the same day, same hour to your end buyer. So it's two different HUDs. HUD A and B and a HUD for B and C. Nobody see your net profits if you're not comfortable in letting them see that. So anyway, guys, now you made yourself $10,000. Or if the spread was large enough, you made yourself $20,000. I mean, guys, the numbers could get crazy. So imagine you could do that once or twice a month. You follow me, right? So now that's that wholesale process. But now I want to put yourself in a position, I want to put you in a position now you are actually going to fix and flip that property, right? Now, keep in mind, you did everything that I just explained to you up front already, but now you got the contract as a fix and flipper yourself, you got the contract at the title company. So now what you want to do is get your inspections done, right? If you're not a seasoned investor, then you want to get a home inspector out there. Let them come in their property and comb through that property, right, in such a way that they're finding any and everything that possibly needs to be done. Because you want to know those things. So you get your home inspector, you get your plumber out there to look at the plumbing, maybe do a video through the plumbing pipe so you can know what that is. You want to get your termite guy out there to find out if there's termite damage somewhere, that hidden damage that you don't see. In other words, you want to do your due diligence, right? You want to get your contractor out there. You want them to comb through the project, right? Because in your contract, there's certain verbiage in there called a inspection contingency. So it means that you have 5 days, 10 days, whatever you put in your report. I like to actually put in my executed contract the inspection period to be as long as my contract price. So if I got 30 days on my contract to close, I want a 30-day inspection. Most of the time, they agree. But typically, if you're dealing with a realtor, it's gonna be maybe 10 days of a home inspection fee. And why is that important? Because you find something through your inspection of the home, you're not obligated to buy the house. You can walk away with no consequences and you get your deposit back, if that makes sense. So you want to have that contingency in there. There's another video that talks about what type of verbiage to put in your contract to protect you, just in case you don't want to close on it. So now you have your contractor in there, your plumber in there, your AC guy in there, whatever, right? You got everybody, home inspector, the termite guy, everybody in there. So you get all your reports back in a timely manner and you determine that, hey, this is going to be a good opportunity. The numbers fall right what I thought they were going to be at for my rehab. You verify your comparables. If you want to actually pay for an appraisal, then do so. Pay for an appraisal, guys. Get that appraisal out there. And that way, when you close that property with cash, you're good to go. Now, if you don't have the cash, you need hard money, then now you're going to be required to have an appraisal. So keep that in mind. So of course, guys, if you're looking for hard money, we have the resources. We are hard money lenders. We can help you with that. I mentioned that in another video, so go and click the link that talks about the benefits of hard money or what is hard money, and I go into great details how we can help you. So very simple, hard money is just a funding source to help you to fix and flip properties. You could do multiple at a time, right? So now, when you do your hard money, you're going through that process, an appraisal will be required. So now the appraiser is going to determine from their expertise what the after repair value is going to be, because you did your own research, right? You maybe got with a realtor party, y'all did some research, but now you confirm that with your appraisal, right? And so now you have that appraisal in, you got your rehab budget confirmed, and now you know, hey, it's a go, right? So now you go through the process of processing the hard money loan. You go to the table, you actually close it, you got the keys in your hand, and immediately, guys, you're starting to work on the house. You don't want to wait. You want to have your contractor in place, ready to go. And we talked about how to hire contractors in one of our other lessons, in another module. So go to the module that says hiring contractors, and you can learn more about how to attract good contractors, what to look for, etc. So now your contractor's starting to work, you're pulling your permits, you're doing your demo, you got your garbage disposals that's out there, your dumpster out there. And so you're rocking and rolling, guys. You're rocking and rolling. You want to make sure you finish that project on time, make sure you finish it in budget, right? So now you got the property totally finished. It's a done deal. It's a beautiful home. You want to make sure you clean the home very, very well. Have somebody come in there and clean it, mop, dust, do everything they can, because you want it absolutely phenomenal, right? Beautiful home. Next, you want to get it if you have the budget to, you want to stage your home, right? Stage your home in such a way that you have a nice living room set, a nice dining room set, a nice bedroom set, right? So when people walk in your home, they can visualize what the furniture will look like in the property. That helps to sell a home. Now, once you have your rented furniture in there, now you want to take some professional photos, not with your cell phone. Get a professional out there to take some beautiful, phenomenal photos of your home, right? Inside and outside, right? Because you got your landscaping beautiful, everything is clean, and so now you want those photos to be taken. So as your photos are taken, now you're basically marketing the product now, right? So if you're going to do some for sale by owner marketing, that's great, do that, but you should have been marketing the property all throughout your rehab budget, right? Have your sign in the front yard that you're a redevelopment company, house is coming soon, something of that nature. So now you're talking to realtor partners, say, listen, I got a house that's coming online shortly. And if you don't have a buyer at that point, then you list that property with a good realtor who's familiar with that area, who have a good track record, and that you have a good relationship with, right? So now you have the property listed. Make sure that you have a good realtor, like I mentioned, because that realtor is going to market that product for you. So now when people come to your house, you have your open house, right? So as they walk into your house, now they see it, they fall in love with it, now they're actually buying the house from you, and now you have yourself at the table, and now that they came in, the end buyer closed their loan, they paid you your cash, right? So you had enough money to pay back your hard money loan, you had enough money to put your cash back in your pocket that you put down for your down payment, or if you funded it yourself, you have enough money to pay all that back. If you had private investors in place who's equity partners, you pay all them their money back, and then you get your net profits at the table. And that's simply it, guys. That's the steps, that's the process. I hope you guys got some value out of that. And in the next video, guys, I'll see you soon. Take care.